Something is shifting in Houston. You can feel it. The energy around NRG Stadium isn't just about the hype anymore. It is about a fundamental change in how this franchise builds its soul. We've seen the flashes of brilliance, but there's been a missing piece in the trenches that kept us from that ultimate Super Bowl goal. Real fans know the pressure is mounting. Before we dive into this massive move, hit that like button and subscribe. If you're part of the Texans faithful, you know we are chasing greatness. This one decision might just be the final catalyst needed. The news is finally sinking in. The Houston Texans didn't just sit back and wait. They moved. They traded up. When Nick Caserio identified Keelan Rutledge, he wasn't just looking for a body to fill a gap. He was looking for a specific type of violence. Rutledge, coming out of Georgia Tech, represents a massive investment in the interior of our offensive line. We took him at 26th overall because the leadership saw a glaring need for stability. For the past couple of seasons, the trenches have felt like a rotating door. It's hard to build a rhythm when your quarterback is constantly checking his peripheral vision. But Rutledge changes that narrative. He is a potential day-one starter. Think about that for a second. A rookie coming in to anchor a line that is already under immense pressure to perform. This move connects directly to our identity. We want to be the team that bullies people. We saw it in free agency when we brought in Wyatt Teller. Adding Rutledge feels like the second half of a master plan. It's about that unique approach of relentlessness and toughness. Teller brought the veteran grit, and now Rutledge brings that youthful, explosive physicality. But here's the thing. This isn't just about the pass protection. We all know the Texans want to key in on pounding the rock much more in 2026. You don't trade up for a guard unless you plan on running through people. Now this is where it gets interesting. The transition from college to the NFL is brutal, especially on the interior. There is a lot of concern about how quickly a rookie can adapt to the speed of pro defensive tackles. But Rutledge isn't your average prospect. He's been described as a mauler. He strains. He finishes. He's wired differently. And honestly, that's what this roster was craving. We have the skill positions. We have the defensive stars. But games are won in the mud. By bringing in Rutledge, the Texans are making a statement. They are saying they are tired of being pushed around. They want to be the ones doing the pushing. It creates a sense of excitement, but also a heavy layer of expectation. The stakes couldn't be any higher for this young man right now in the NFL. We need him to be exactly what DeMeco Ryans envisions for this gritty offensive front today. To understand why this move feels so heavy, you have to look at the swarm culture DeMeco Ryans has built. We've seen it transform the defense into one of the strongest units in the league. It's fast, it's aggressive, and it's loud. But the offense needed to catch up. They needed that same DNA. Keelan Rutledge is effectively the swarm representative on the other side of the ball. He even talked about it himself. He wants to be that lunch pail guy. That sounds great in a press conference, but the emotional reality is much more intense. There is significant risk here. When you trade up in the first round for an interior lineman, you are passing on other positions of need. You are betting the house that this specific individual can stabilize the most vulnerable part of your protection. If Rutledge struggles with the X's and O's, or if the physicality of the NFL is too much too soon, the criticism will be relentless. We are in a championship window. We don't have time for a 3-year development project. We need that ready-to-go energy the moment the lights come on Sunday. The uncertainty of where he will line up adds another layer of tension. Is he a left guard? Is he a center? Moving a rookie around during training camp can be a recipe for disaster. It messes with their head. It ruins their footwork. Yet, the Texans seem confident. They believe his mental toughness outside the field translates to mental toughness on it. I've seen enough Texans seasons to know that a weak interior can ruin even the best offensive schemes. We've seen great drives die because of a blown assignment at guard. The fan concern is real because we've been hurt before by line inconsistency. But there's also this deep, cautious optimism. If he really is the leader he claims to be, he could be the glue that holds this unit together for the next decade. He mentioned that you reap what you sow. Right now, the Texans are sowing a lot of draft capital and trust into a kid from Georgia Tech. The implications for the roster are massive. If he hits, we have a wall. If he misses, we have a target on our back. It's an emotional roller coaster for the faithful right now in Houston. But this is where things change. This isn't just about one player. This is about the protection of our franchise's entire future. Every time CJ Stroud takes a snap, the hearts of every fan in Houston stop for a split second. We need him upright. We need him clean. The decision to bring in Keelan Rutledge is a direct investment in the longevity of our star quarterback. And that's the biggest question. Can a rookie really be the primary bodyguard for a player of Stroud's caliber? Because this could become something much bigger. If Rutledge can effectively clear lanes and stonewall blitzers, the Texans' offense becomes multi-dimensional in a way we haven't seen in years. Imagine a world where the run game actually dictates the tempo. That's the dream for 2026. We want to pound the rock. We want to wear defenses down until they break. But to do that, you need a mauler. You need someone who takes pride in the dirty work. The emotional escalation here is palpable because we are seeing the front office finally prioritize the grit over the glitz. However, the pressure on Rutledge is going to be astronomical. Every sack will be scrutinized. Every holding penalty will be amplified. This move signals that the Texans believe they are one tough-minded lineman away from being truly elite. But what if the chemistry isn't there? Offensive lines aren't just about individual talent. They are about 5 guys moving as one. Inserting a new first-round pick into that mix is like trying to change a tire while the car is moving at 80 miles per hour. The roster consequences are heavy. We are seeing a shift where veterans might lose their spots to this new blood. That creates locker room tension. It creates a prove-it atmosphere that can either forge a diamond or crush the spirit of the room. Super Bowl pressure is no longer a distant thought. It is the standard. If Rutledge is the missing piece, then the road to the AFC Championship goes through Houston. But if he's just another name on a list of failed prospects, the window might close faster than we think. This is the ultimate gamble on physicality and mental toughness. We are watching a high-stakes chess match played out in the trenches, and the prize is everything. I'm going to be honest, this move actually worries me a little bit, but in the best way possible. I love the aggression. I love that Nick Caserio saw a player he wanted and went and got him, but I also know how tough the AFC South has become. We are talking about defensive lines that are built to ruin your day. This isn't Georgia Tech anymore. This is the big leagues. I really like this move because it shows a level of self-awareness from the coaching staff. They knew the line wasn't tough enough. They knew they needed more sand in their pants, as the old scouts say. I think fans should pay attention to how Rutledge carries himself in training camp. He talks about being a leader. He talks about being a lunch pail guy. That's exactly what I want to hear, but I want to see it when the humidity is 100% and the pads are popping. This could be incredible. Imagine having Rutledge and Teller side by side. That is a lot of bad intentions on one side of the ball. It could redefine our identity. We could become the most physical team in the division. But this could also become a problem if we're putting too much on a young kid's shoulders. The mental load of playing guard or center in this system is high. You have to identify the mic, you have to call out the stunts, and you have to do it all while a 300-pound man is trying to run through your chest. I'm leaning toward optimism because the swarm culture seems to bring the best out of these guys. Rutledge sounds like he was born to play for DeMeco Ryans. He has that grit, he has that strain he keeps talking about. But I'm staying cautious. I've seen first-rounders struggle before. I've seen can't-miss prospects miss. However, there's something about the way he describes his wiring that feels different. It feels like he understands the gravity of the situation. He isn't just happy to be here. He's here to compete with the best. That's the mentality that wins championships. It's about being tough everywhere, like he said. If he brings that energy to the locker room, the ceiling for this team just got a whole lot higher than ever before. We are waiting. The story of the 2026 Houston Texans is still being written, but Keelan Rutledge just became one of its most important characters. The tension heading into training camp is going to be through the roof. We still don't know where he will ultimately line up. Will he take over at left guard and solidify that side? Or will he move to center and become the literal heart of the offensive front? The answer to that question could determine the success of our entire season. There is a sense of unresolved anticipation because we've seen the highlights and heard the interviews, but now we need to see the results. This isn't just a draft pick. It's a shift in philosophy. The future of the franchise is being built on physicality and mental toughness. Something bigger is still coming. This feels like the first domino in a series of moves that will define the DeMeco Ryans era. The atmosphere around the team is electric, yet filled with the weight of expectation. What do you think, Texans fans? Is Rutledge the guy who finally fixes our interior line? Or are you worried about the pressure on a rookie? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. We need to hear from the real fans on this one. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay updated on everything happening with the Texans. We are chasing that ring, and every move counts. Go Texans!